kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Racers Elite Truck Series here from Chicagoland Speedway for race number 2 of the season. Last week, we saw Blair Holloman come away with a win, leaving it all out there on the track and picking up where he left off at the end of last season with a win, and certainly looks to continue that dominance here. And my name is Jordan Brockel, joined in here by Colin McDonough here on Sim Racing Media. And Colin, we are in for a treat again here tonight as we go to Chicagoland. It's cool. There's going to be a ton of grip. And, Chicagoland, being a mile and a half, it still carries a ton of speed. So it should be a ton of fun.
I'm expecting to see a lot of side-to-side action in the corners because any line can work here. It's all a matter of personal preference.
Absolutely, and it's going to be one of those things where, people are going to be looking for grip and any kind of advantage that they can throughout the entire night. And that's where you want to. You don't necessarily want to look where you're most comfortable. You kind of want to find where you're fastest, and your comfortability meets both of those in one aspect.
Yeah, I've had a lot of pace on the high line here, and I'm usually very uncomfortable on the high line. But if you can click off consistent fast lap times, it's where you want to be. Whether that's a high line, low line, in the middle. I'm looking forward to seeing yeah, seeing a lot of battles on track.
Yeah, and you know, this is one of those tracks that we could see some people be wall runners, and they're going to be up there as tight as they can to the wall and try to you know, carry all that momentum off the corner. But then you're going to see those guys that, you know, kind of work their way down to that line and try to diamond the corner to a touch and you know, apex these corners, and you're going to see possibly a lot of slide jobs and everything like that, like we saw back when Kyle Larson, you know, dove into turns 3 and 4 to pull a slide job on Kyle Busch, and then, you know, Kyle Busch gave him the bumper and did the whole boo-hoo celebration at the end and everything. One of the most iconic moments in racing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't speak much from the professional side of things, but my experience here has always been rather pleasant and rather respectful. I've never been too upset with the tactics that other people have used on me on track here.
Yeah, we're going to pick up here for Andrew Teft as he's going to work his way through 3 and 4 to finish his lap. Currently, no surprise here, but Blair Holloman sits atop the board in P1, as we'll see if Andrew Teft can match his time. And Andrew Teft does not. He goes 30-32 to Blair Holloman's 30-20. So once again here, Blair Holloman showing the strength that he has and has the position to possibly walk away with 2 wins here as long as he can stay out of trouble and, you know, keep things moving forward for him. As we'll go ahead and jump on here with Alex Teft as he makes his qualifying attempt. Just 3 drivers, including Alex, to not set a time just yet.
I'm really excited to see Truth Hoke out here tonight because I know his area was pretty affected by the hurricane.
Yeah, and anyone down there in that area, the North Carolina, I think I saw some stuff for Tennessee and Florida and everything like there. I hope everyone is making the best of their situation. I know how hard that situation can be because you know, I lived it and I was in it. You know, I lost my house to a flood during a hurricane, so I certainly know how these guys feel. And I just hope that everyone is doing their best that they can and gets through such a tragedy.
Yeah, best wishes to everybody out there. It's the imagery that I've seen is just, yeah, for lack of better words, tragic.
Yeah, certainly. But, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, and, you know, hopefully some of those guys down there can tune in here for SRM, and maybe we could lift their spirits just a touch here. We're going to go ahead and try to get a word in with our pole sitter, as we're going to bring him up. Search for him here in a moment. There he is. Blair Holloman, it's Jordan and Colin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing?
Look, man, does this ever get tiring? Do you get tired of hearing my voice?
Nah, it's always fun. Interviews during the race or even after race are always a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, so I mean, you put it on the pole once again, back-to-back weeks, and you know, you're rocking that Intimidator paint scheme to a T, and you know, you got the 3 on there, so pretty on point. I mean, do you look to be the Intimidator? Continue? I mean, I'd say you're already the Intimidator with how intimidating it is with that you can pull such big leads.
I don't necessarily think the Intimidator. It's just one of those. I always have to do something fun with the paint scheme, but with these races, it's all about trying to qualify as far front as you can, because when these pit stops hit, if you're not one of the first few, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. So it definitely helps being up front and trying to dodge some of the chaos. You never know. This track is usually pretty loose, but with it being nighttime, there's going to be some grip in it, so you're going to see some passing. A lot of moves that you don't normally see in the daylight variant of this track, so it's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be something to watch in the multiple grooves that you can run here. So it's going to be a fun one to watch, and we certainly want to wish you luck and get you down there and get you ready, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Once again, Blair Holloman on the pole, showing that he is the dominant racer here. And I almost want to say he could win just like Dale Earnhardt. Just comes out and has a chance to win each and every week that he's out there.
Really looking forward to seeing what Alan Bergen can do, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, me too. As pace car's off, Blair Holloman handed control. He's going to lead him off into turn one with Alex Teft to his inside, Sean Dunaway to his outside, Rowan Lloyd just behind that. See just a bit behind. Oh, there we see cars already off the track. Paul Shaw in the grass. People everywhere. Wesley Herndon went off track. See if we can take a peek back here, see what happened. Looks like he just got loose. And then he came back up on the track, lost it more, and it looks like Paul Shaw just had a separate incident of being loose. Cold tires. I'm getting now that Justin Branham went off track now. Take a peek here. So yeah, it just seems like... Yeah, that one had a little bit of help there towards the end of that, but it just looks like some of these guys are just on edge and getting, aero loose coming through the corners. Tires are still cold, not ready to run, and we've seen some people bite that bullet already.
Sometimes it can be really hard, especially with sim racing, to go from that final lap of qualifying where the tires have gotten up to temperature and you've got a lot of pace in them, to then go from a start where you're sitting on the grid, losing all that tire temperature, and not remembering what cold tires feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, cold tires are a pain to begin with. You've really got to nurse them so you don't ruin the tires, early in a run. As we see Andrew Teff go fast time, 30.45, and carrying a little bit more pace than Blair Holloman is right now.
And there are battles all over the track right now.
Yeah, we can see back here, I mean, even back here for 21st and 20th, you see, a battle here. And then you move up to Alex Teft. Just got by Trevor Woodward.
Randy Sprouse and Nathan Strauss are battling one another. That's for the 13th position, if I'm not mistaken. 14th position. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm
Randy.
sorry, I was incorrect. Seems that another number of trucks are already out of position from those early moments.
Just up front, Andrew Teft finds his way around Blair Holloman, and Blair is looking to possibly drop a spot to Rowan Lloyd here too. And we kind of saw this last week where he got to a massive lead, but then people would start to track him down, and then he would just kind of hang out in front of them and not make them they wouldn't be able to make a move on him.
I don't ever see him making a mistake, which if the person in front of you never makes a mistake, it gets really difficult to capitalize on the difference in your pace.
Yeah, so Blair Holloman loses 2 spots there for Andrew Teft and Rowan Lloyd. And actually, Rowan Lloyd looking on the outside to Andrew Teff now, carrying a lot more momentum down. Andrew Teff shuts the door on him there.
Rowan Lloyd is looking very racy right now.
And sometimes you wonder if that's, you know, his car is really good right now and running well now. But is he using up too much? Is he using up... Oh, Andrew Teff looked like he got a little loose there. Frightened me just a touch. I thought he was going to hit the wall and hang on to the wall there the whole time.
Looks like Sean Dunaway coming to join the party.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, no one's really getting away except for this 5-car breakaway. About a second and a quarter to Jesse Fox just behind. So kind of a 5-car getaway right now. But I mean, everyone else back until, I mean, I want to say 15th. Then there's another second between everyone. But everyone else, you know, we've got like 3 separate little packs. You have 1st through 5th, and then 6th through 15th, and then 16th to 21st. A little bit further of a separation.
Looks like there's a hot contest over the 11 spot right now.
Yeah, Randy Sprouse and Philip Archibald fighting for that 12th place position as the greatest looking car this week, in my opinion, of Kyle Hess racing the Hess truck paint scheme. I can't believe he actually went with it, and I love it. I mean, it's the best. Dude, you have the last name Hess, you should be running a Hess truck. That is freaking awesome.
I think it was a really good call.
And now I'm just thinking to myself, you know, if we could get Lee Campbell onto a Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup car, we will have officially done something very, very good in my opinion.
It might even make our job so much easier to spot people on track.
Right, and now I'm sitting here looking like Jesse Fox. I mean, he could race a Fox like the motocross gear. He could run a Fox truck.
Yes. Fox Racing suspension, Fox
yeah,
Racing
exactly.
shocks.
And you know, it's I wish I had a last name just so I could be like, yeah, I race it. It's got my name on it. But they're literally the only thing that I get from my last name is people calling me Broccoli, and I'm not gonna race a Green Giant truck. You know.
Well, there's a battle for the 8th spot, 7th spot.
Truth Hoke, Kensley Smith, and then right behind him, Ronnie Martin and Lee Campbell, fighting for that position there too.
It was getting really spicy in there.
Back up front, Rowan Lloyd has found his way around Andrew Teft, and Sean Dunaway has found his way inside of the 32 machine of Blair Holloman, trying to take away that spot.
I'm really curious if Blair Holloman's gonna just plan for an undercut. He was saying that you want to make the stop either, you know, early and with everybody else. I wonder if he's going to be the first one to jump down pit road later.
Yeah, and I mean, it very well could be. I mean, we're just going to have to see, and time will tell, as Sean Dunaway might be able to grab 2 here, as Andrew Teff seems to be a little bit slower here as of the last couple of laps. Last time around, he ran, Blair Holloman ran a 31.64. He ran a 31.98. So Andrew Teff just a touch bit slower, but that last time around, Andrew Teff just about 3/1000ths slower. Take a peek back here. Dennis Kane is fighting for the 13th position here from Randy Sprouse. He looks like he's going to get there. Does a minor bit of a slide job, but doesn't really fully commit to it. And it's early. You don't want to commit to a slide job like that and risk, you know, getting turned around.
Also, it's early on. Do you really want to roast your tires this early on?
Yeah, and I mean, We're only 18 laps in. And like you said, you don't want to burn up your stuff too quickly. As we'll pump back up here. Andrew Teff's now behind Blair Holloman as Sean Dunaway is looking to the inside here now too.
Rowan Lloyd is extending that lead.
Philip Archibald fighting for that 11th spot now, past Ronnie Martin, who kind of concedes the position just a touch. I wonder if it's just, you know, his stuff's burnt up and he's just got to, you know, figure it out from there. But Rowan Lloyd certainly out front, but it almost looks like Blair Holloman has found that switch and is turning it up just a bit.
We've seen him do it before. He has a tendency to reel someone in without much trouble. Like, I think I saw Kensley Smith making a move on the inside of Jesse Fox. Securing the 6th position.
Kensley Smith fighting hard down there on the bottom, trying to make it work. And this is where, you know, later in the race where I feel like we're going to see those people, you know, trying to force the pass and dive into the corners a little further and try to slide up in front of them and, you know, kind of cause them to have to check up.
Truth Oak getting into the mix as well.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, you see 3 people running 3 lines. Oh! Ooh, Lee Campbell got a little close there to that left rear of Truth Hoke, and I wonder why, if that's why Hoke had that little bit of a move down to the inside there. Maybe took a little bit of air off.
I think Truth actually did a much better job keeping that composed than we may realize.
Back up here to the front, Rowan Lloyd still leading over Blair Holloman, as it looks like Jesse Fox is actually going to lose a spot to Lee Campbell here.
Yeah, that 6th spot is really 6, 7, 8. It's really a great battle going on track.
Yeah, and I mean Jesse Fox is fighting hard out there on the top, but you know, just and just as I say that, grabs a touch of the wall. That's certainly going to throw off that, and it's going to give Truth Hoke an opportunity to dive to the inside and take away 8th place from him.
It's that big risk of running that high line. It may be fast, but you start to get a little bit too comfortable running that close to the wall, and the moment you scrape it, all that good work can be for naught.
Yeah, and I certainly saw a wide range of people, you know, this past weekend. Why am I already blanking on where they were? Oh, wow.
Ooh, and looks like Holloman and Lloyd are getting very close together.
Certainly are. But, you know, I saw this past weekend, you know, guys were running a literal inch off the wall. And it's, my thing is one is how do you have the awareness of your car to know that you're still not on the wall? As Blair Holloman gets a little loose, may have grabbed the wall. Sean Dunaway's put himself back in the conversation for 2nd place. Andrew Teft has fallen about a 1.5 seconds off of these guys. So 3-car breakaway here for the 1st place position.
Rowan Lloyd probably loves the sight of Sean Dunaway that close to Blair Holloman right now. I suspect that all night long there are going to be a lot of close battles on track. As Alan Bergen coming down pit road.
Yeah, Alan bringing himself down in the SRM machine there. Beautiful machine. Jesse Fox also came down this time around. See Rowan Lloyd also making a stop. Kensley Smith trying to make a stop, but does get it woed up enough. Kyle Hess coming down. Alex Teft, Philip Archibald, Dennis Cade, Randy Spouse, Kirby Wayscott, Trevor Woodward. So, 7th on back is making a pit stop. The only ones in the 7th on back, and just as I say that, Wesley Herndon and Justin Branham find themselves on pit road.
Keeping it together.
The top 6 have not come down pit road just yet, but it sounds like they are now. So Blair Holloman going to woe it up, try to get it slowed down. And that's a hard thing to do because, this track isn't, there isn't really like where it begins to kind of be a straightaway. It's almost like it's an actual oval. We talk oval racetracks, and they have, flat straightaways. But this track seems to have some kind of curve to it down the backstretch and through the tri-oval and, of course, through the turn. So it seems like there is really no straightaway. It's still curved in some sense.
Oh, and a great job by Truth Hoke to get that slowed down and close the gap on Rob Yost Jr. ahead of him. A lot of time can be made going into pit road if you're if you're confident on the brakes and aggressive enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can really make up a ton of time, but it's a risk versus reward. How much do you want to risk going into pit road?
The speeding penalty hurts a lot more than the stoke that you'll find from gaining a little ground on the person ahead of you into pit road.
So Rowan Lloyd finds himself sitting in 4th right now after everything kind of settles itself out from pit stops. Back a little further, Jesse Fox in a battle with Rob Yost right now for that 9th place position.
Not far behind them, Philip Archibald.
Truth Hoke working his way around Truth Hoke, and now Truth Hoke trying to get around the lap down Alan Bergen.
Pit stops really shake things up on a track like this. Coming out on fresh tires, but cold tires. Trying to get them up to speed without having any incident, and you're fighting against the lead group on warm tires that are worn, and they're about to come down pit road. But it looks like most people have made their stops now.
Yeah, as I look here on our timing and scoring, everyone has made their pit stops.
Yep.
So this should be how everything stays out right now. As Kensley Smith up 18 positions from where he started, so certainly put in work there. And I also want to say that just behind him, up 15 spots to the 7th place spot is Alex Teft, and Alex Teft has shown a big, strong, showing here last week, coming 3rd, and I think he could be one of the contenders this year, barring any bad luck, which we all have that thought in our mind is when and where is the bad luck. But Alex Teft certainly putting himself in the conversation, as Jesse Fox is in a 3-way battle for the 9th place spot with Philip Archibald, Lee Campbell, and himself. And if they're not easy, Truth Hoke's going to put this into a 4-way battle. And then you got Dennis Kane. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the 56 of Nathan Strauss, who is a lap down.
There's a great battle going on right there. Truth Oak tries to make a move down the inside on Lee Campbell. He'll make it stick.
Yeah, and these guys were kind of being a bully there to Jesse Fox for a moment, and then Jesse Fox somehow just drove away from them and said, "You guys figure it out amongst yourselves. I'm just going to go ahead on the way up front." Randy Sprouse working to the inside of Kirby Wainscott, trying to take away the 14th place position. And like you said, there is battles everywhere. Back here a little further, you have Woodward racing with Ronnie Martin, just got by him. Kirby Wainscott still fighting on the outside of that 46 machine of Randy Sprouse.
Kinsley Smith just trying to reel in Sean Dunaway.
Yeah, Rob Yost looking to the inside of Alex Teft here. And like you said, up here, Sean Dunaway and Kinsley Smith fighting, to over that second place position. And this is where we're going to start seeing who has what and who knows their truck the best, because you got a full run out of these trucks, so you know how they're going to react as you wear down tires, as you get a lighter fuel load. So now this is where we see who knows their truck.
Yeah, you may start seeing different strategies in play on fuel saving. Once you've made that first stop, you figure out how many more laps can I get out of one run.
Right. So Lee Campbell is trying to still work around Philip Archibald. Might get it this time by. Might pull a little bit of a slide job. Not necessarily. It looks like Archibald's trying to cross over there. But nonetheless, Jesse Fox has found his way through that. Truth Hope. I'm trying to figure out when Truth Hope got himself through all of that and moved past Jesse Fox, because now Truth Hope is going by the 43 of Alex Teft.
Truth Hope's got some pace right now.
It certainly does, and he's trying to use every bit of it right now.
I wonder if Truth Hope is running aggressive on this stint, burning up the tires, burning up the fuel, and he'll be one of the first to stop for the next round of pit stops.
Now, it certainly could. Another guy that's also moving up really quick and aggressively is Rob Yost, as he looks to get by Kyle Hess. He just got past the 43 not too long ago, so I mean, he certainly has a lot of pace in his truck right now too. As some of these guys might be trying to make it stretch just a bit further. They could go about 30 laps on a run. So you figure 30, 60, 90, that'll get you to the end. You could pull a little bit of an undercut, and do a 30, 60, and say 75 if you want to cut it that close.
Yeah, if you run that 90 stop, you end up with a lot left over, or, naturally a lighter fuel load, but a lot of tire that you won't have the opportunity to make the most of. So I wonder if it's more advantageous to short pit somewhere along the way and just have one stint full of qualifying laps, more or less.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they wanted to do an undercut here, you get to 45 to 50, somewhere in there, then you come back down lap 80, and then you have 25 laps to the end. So there's a number of different undercuts you could pull here, and I definitely think the undercut's going to be the strong one, as Rowan Lloyd is looking to the outside of Andrew Teff, trying to carry that speed just a lane higher, get that run down the backstretch. And this is another one of those tracks where you just have to kind of figure out where is better to run, with a certain driver, and where you got to kind of guesstimate where he's going to run each and every lap.
one surprise for me is, where did the caution come from?
Oh, it looks like it's going to be Alan Bergen.
Oh, no.
The Burger Man. The Hamburgen. I'm going to call him that from now on, the Hamburgen. Oh, and it looks like he gets into it with the 25 of Paul Shaw. Not really sure what went on there.
Oh, my.
See if we can pull out the chopper cam. See if we can see that a little differently. Oh, and it looks like, I don't know if Alan got loose or... I don't know, Alan.
That's a strange one.
I wonder if he was going to come down pit road and just didn't know that Paul was there.
That's a bummer.
It certainly is a bummer there, and
That's just one of those really unfortunate.
yeah, so under caution for cause for the first time here. And, you know, this is where if people decide that they want to go with that pit here and run to lap 75, I mean, we're very
There's
well
Truth
within...
Oak. I had a feeling you'd see a lot of them come down, but I think Truth Oak is the big winner here. He made up a lot of ground
Oh,
before
absolutely.
this pit stop.
I mean, it worked to a perfection for True Hoke. I mean, you run it and gun it as hard as you can. Get your tires and fuel here now, without having to lose more spots. And if you get a little bit lucky, you grab one more or two. You could lose one or two, but ultimately, you could go up and down either way. And but he is certainly in a better position than he was before this caution. So as you'll see, Blair Holloman, Dunaway, Kensley Smith, Andrew Teft, all of these guys are going to roll off pit road here. So Blair going to hang on to the lead here. And while we do that, I want to pull our man Kyle Hess as soon as I find him. There he is. Bring him up and tell him how much I love him for that paint scheme.
Looks like Alex Teft is the big winner off of pit road.
Hey Kyle, it's Jordan and Colin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
You knew I'd be calling your name here in a short while, simply because of the fact that you had pulled out the Hess truck.
Yeah, you brought it up last week, and I'm a man of my word, so I went and found it.
And I've got to say, that is a beautiful truck. I'm jealous that I don't have the last name Hess just to run that truck, because that's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, well, I figured since you said something about it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the truck for the guys up in the booth tonight. So
Yeah, we were up here
Here it
talking
is.
about last names, and now we got to see if we could get Lee Campbell on board to run like a Campbell's chicken noodle or a Campbell's chunky soup truck, and then
right.
maybe get Jesse Fox on the Fox suspension truck, and then I think we run out of names there that we could use that for, but certainly
Right.
makes it fun up in the booth for us.
I hear you. I appreciate it. I enjoy the camaraderie in it, man. I do. So
Yeah, that's what we love about the Racers Elite Series. Everybody's fun, and we like to have a little bit of fun with each other. So, want to wish you luck for the rest of the race, brother. And
no, I
hopefully we'll
appreciate it. This one's gonna be a little bit tougher. It's not a how can I put it? Passing opportunities are going to be here on the starts and whatnot. We'll see if we get into a longer run, see if tires fall off. It's going to be as bad as I thought it was. It's not looking like it right now. So
yes,
we'll see how it plays out.
yeah, certainly going to be a fun one to watch. Wish you luck for the rest of the race, brother, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of it.
Hopefully. Talk to you guys later.
Have fun out there.
So that was Kyle Hess, and he said he was going to do it, and I expected maybe midway through the season he would pull it out, but he went next following week, said here's the Hess truck for you boys, and gotta love that.
That thing
So-
is it's really cool. I really dig it.
So we're gonna go back up front here as Blair Holloman has the lead from these guys right now, and it's one of those things is was his game plan messed up? Because, we saw him kind of hang back and wait, let everybody else go by him, run and run and run and run. And then, he worked his way by just before pit stops, and then ended up, having that work out in his favor to where he took the lead through the shifting of the pit strategies. But only time will tell, and certainly we're going to find out here soon as that pace car's lights are out. It's going to make that left hand turn here momentarily. It's going to hand over everything to Blair Holloman once again. He's going to fire off from that Geico restart zone, and we are green flag racing here from Chicagoland once again. Kensley Smith to the inside of Sean Dunaway right now, and he's going to grab that second place spot. Up 19 positions from the start of this race. And certainly we have a hornet's nest right back here with the, Teff brothers, Lloyd, Hoke, Yost, Hess, Campbell. It's just it looks like Randy Sprouse and someone else were in the wall. It looks like Ronnie Martin. Randy Sprouse and Ronnie Martin get into each other here at lap 52. Well, 51 going to 52. So we'll take a peek back here. So it looks like Ronnie just got loose. Sprouse thought he could hang outside, and Sprouse thought he was going to be clear to go around on the outside, and that's one of those unfortunate, you just gotta kind of pick what you're gonna do, and it's not easy because he sees him sliding to the inside and doesn't expect him to shoot back up the track like that.
Yeah. That's one of those things with, if you overcorrect just the slightest bit, it'll send you up into the wall.
Yeah, we can actually see right now. We can see his steering, see what it looks like. So you can see he's 90 degrees to the right. So once it grabs traction, it just sends it way up to that right, that outside wall, and you're just along for the ride at that point. And we see it from Sprouse's position. He's going to see that 89 get loose, start to head downward. So he says, I'm going to go up, and then all of a sudden just bam.
Yeah.
Ronnie Martin's car pulled a full ka-chow before colliding with Randy Sprouse.
So that's one of the split-second decisions that you got to make. Do you let off? Do you go high? Do you think they're going to save it? And, until everything plays out to the finale, you don't actually know.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to Kyle Hess's point that he was making that, passing opportunities are very apparent on the restarts. So, Randy Sprouse is sitting there thinking, if I lose any ground here, I'm going to be kind of a sitting duck and not really able to make any moves. I'm going to have to run my truck harder than I want to get to them. And, he saw an opportunity. He thought, maybe Ronnie Martin was either going to save it and he could go around on the outside, or he was going to lose it and go down to the, to the inside. Probably grab Branham or Herndon, I believe, was down there. But
from what I could see, it looked like he had it saved from an outside perspective, but not being in the truck and feeling what exactly it's doing, unless you're actually the driver of that vehicle, you don't know if it's saved.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, because I'm so bad, I learned how to save trucks, and it's one of those things that it kind of makes me mad that I know how to save them that well, simply because of how bad I am.
I've gotten really good at saving trucks because I've gotten them out of control so many times.
And that's the truth, is,
yep.
I've gotten out of control so many times and, stuck on the outside while getting passed by leaders, up into the marbles and everything like that. It's kind of loose and you just kind of drift almost, and at the very least, just hold it against the wall.
Yeah, the honorable thing to do of just put it up to the wall and let everybody through, to make sure you don't collect anybody else.
Yeah.
But when you're on the middle line, the low line, you don't have that option.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you try your best. I'm certainly not a guy that likes to get into anyone. I don't know anyone that does, except for this dude that I've been seeing on YouTube here that goes, "Sorry, my tires are bald," and like goes backwards on iRacing and everything like that. Dude makes a living out of being a menace on iRacing.
Yes, I have seen this guy. And
But,
if I recall correctly, the back of that car says something about I brake check tailgaters.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
just what a way to make a living, right? You know, just you're
It is.
one of those guys that just trolls on iRacing, and I don't know how he hasn't fully gotten his membership revoked permanently.
Well, I think it might be on. Is it on iRacing or is that on a different?
I know he
NASCAR
did.
game?
He does it on iRacing and NASCAR 2011 or something like that, which is weird that it still has like.
Is it 2003?
No, there's like a newer, one of the
Okay.
newer like before. I want to say one of them was NASCAR 2009 even.
Okay.
I think he just goes to whatever one he can find a server on and just does it. But nonetheless, here on this server, we're gonna see Blair Holloman shoot out there.
Oh wow.
Massive lead as he leaves Kensley Smith and Sean Dunaway in the dust and lets them sort out who's going to take off over that second place spot. As now we're going to see that Hornet's Nest just behind them start to build. And that's where all these guys are desperate to get those spots because, like Hess said, it's not easy to get past anyone as you get into these runs.
Phenomenal jump off the start.
Yeah, certainly as Sean Dunaway has made his way around Kensley Smith, but looks for Blair Holloman, who I thought would be a lot further out by now. But I mean, certainly playing a conservative run and saving his stuff, in my opinion. Back here a little further, Rowan Lloyd, Rob Yost, and Andrew Teft all fighting for that fourth place position. Alex Teft's gonna get.
Oh, can he save it? Oh no. Ah.
And that's just unfortunate. And what's funny is I was trying to click on Teff there to follow that, and I clicked on Andrew. So I need to find a way to like distinguish them two a little bit better.
A Teft. Oh wait, no, the other A Teft.
You see, he's just in the middle here, and he gets a little bit of a hook there, and then just tries to save it, hits the outside wall, and almost takes Jesse Fox with him. And then there was one more right there. I don't know who that was. I think it was the 56 of Strauss, possibly. Looks to be that. I want to take a look of it from Strauss's position, from the inside here. You can see up there. It's way up there. I mean, start-finish line, you see him get loose. He hits the wall. You go down low. And then, it's never fun to be that guy.
No.
Take a peek one more time to see what fully happened to Teft here. You see he got a little bobble there, and then tried to cut down just a touch, cuts down just a bit too much, gets Rob Yost, and then, man, if that was a real car, that hit right there would have been, I would almost say hospital worthy.
Yeah, it looks like he's carrying some engine damage based on the smoke.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's gonna have anything, if he could get a fast repair, or if he's already used it. So we'll find out here. We'll just
caution for cause, yes.
Yeah, we'll just follow Teft here under caution for the third time tonight, as Colin said. We'll see if Teft gets a quick repair here. Bam! Fender back on. He's going to be good to go, but certainly last one and only fast repair there, so he's going to have to be careful the rest of this race. And that's what I love about this league is you get one. I'm okay with one.
Yep. There's another league that I'm planning to run in that we get 0.
Oh yeah, I have 2 of those that I run. You get 0. And you're just kind
Yeah.
of along for the ride at that point.
Well, it adds to that, I don't know, the authenticity of real life racing. Of, you know, if you get that one catastrophic incident, that's your night. You just park it.
Yeah, and I mean my only experience with that is I used to run carts for a little
Yep.
while, and I had it was a big learning curve, very big learning curve, and
Sure.
I had I had tried different sprockets, and I ultimately think just the cart that I had bought from somebody was just junk, and I should have gotten a new motor and everything like that, or at least
Yeah.
found a way to rebuild what I had, because I know they're locked and sealed. You can't really do much with them, but um, I remember it's one of the worst feelings I've ever had. I was going into the first turn after a long straightaway at a track called Nicholson Speedway here in Maryland, and I guess I didn't get the bolts tight enough, or they had pulled themselves, stripped themselves out.
Sure.
So it sent half of the sprocket through the air.
Oh no.
And then I was just kind of dead in the water, sitting off to the side, and there wasn't a caution thrown for it because where I had pulled myself off, I wasn't a danger to anything.
Right. Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just watching all these other guys, fly around me, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah. But hey man, that's racing.
It's
It
racing
really
to a
is.
T.
Yeah. Some days it's not your day, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not that you did anything wrong necessarily.
No, and I remember the first race, got my suit on and everything, and I'm trying to unzip my suit, and the zipper breaks right before the race.
Oh no.
So I'm like, dude, what do I do? And he's like, oh, well, here. And he zip ties right below the zipper, so the zipper won't go down anymore. And he said, I just put the neck piece and I leave that much open anyway, so that I get air through the race. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yep.
But now everybody's had a little bit of a sequence in their tires. No one's came down here to get any service, so we're going to see how these things work after a cycle. Blair Holloman's going to get that big lead as he did before. Rowan Lloyd giving Dunaway minor push there with Kensley Smith on his own to the inside. At Hornet's Nest building even bigger this time around as Randy Sprouse finds himself. He was in the middle of 3 wide, going through turns 1 and 2. Side by side with Lee Campbell, may have doored each other there. So Alex Teft looks to capitalize on that and get by Campbell here. Up a little further, Dennis Kane working his way past Fox and Archibald to the inside, but Archibald fighting strong on the outside. They'll be able to carry more momentum. Got a little loose there.
Man, we're seeing 3 wide, sometimes almost 4 wide.
Yeah, and these guys aren't afraid to do it by any means. Sean Dunaway making a pass there on the inside to Kensley Smith as Rowan Lloyd looks to almost look to split them. I don't think it was intentional to try to split them. I think he wanted to go with Dunaway there. But certainly one of those feelings where you just you blip the throttle a little bit so you can back off of them, so you don't end up hooking Dunaway or Kensley Smith into the other.
It's like Dennis Kane and Philip Archibald just stuck, not being able to find a spot to get clean air.
Yeah, Dennis Kane has speed. Yost is kind of stuck behind him with a little bit more speed, and Hess is on the outside holding his own. As it looks like Dennis Kane, I was going to say was clear, but wasn't very for very long. And if Hess can carry just a touch bit more momentum, he would be a big problem for Kane. But Kane's going to be clear this time off. But I almost would want to stay in front of Yost here, no matter where he goes, because you're kind of holding him up, and he is fast right now. Back up front, Kensley Smith, Dunaway, Lloyd, Truth Hoke. You could throw a blanket over the four of them, but Blair Holloman finds himself on about a half-second lead here, and everyone running after him here. As Kensley Smith looks like he grabbed a touch of the wall there.
Teft has gotten through the melee further back.
Yeah, and he looks to capitalize on Justin Branham here. Branham was certainly having a troublesome start to this race, but finds himself up to the 8th place position for now, as Andrew Teft looks to make a move on him as we run here. We're 69 laps in to this race of 105. Back up front, Kensley
would really love to steal that 4 spot.
Oh, absolutely. You can see him really fighting there to the inside of Lloyd. Lloyd's fallen off this the first 3-car breakaway there. Dennis Kane has found himself tracking these guys down. Kensley Smith has brought it in to within 1/10 of a second, really driving in deep into those corners to get to Holloman. But I wonder if he's going to burn up a lot more as he gets close to that wall. It's almost like he's pulling that thing down low, going from the outside to the inside, which we saw, I believe it was Blair Holloman was pulling that kind of line last week at Atlanta.
Man, Dennis Kane was really on a charge. He closed that gap quick.
Yeah, certainly. So now a 5-car breakaway turns into a 6-car breakaway, and Andrew Teft found his way around Rob Yost and Justin Branham, and looking to capitalize on or he found his way around Justin Branham. Rob Yost found his way around Justin Branham as well. So he's looking to try to close the gap here on these guys as well. And, you know, we're getting close to when these guys are going to start thinking about pit stops to, you know, ensure that they're good to the end. You know, lap 75 or later is going to be ideal. Maybe some of these guys push it a couple extra laps. I know if we go to what we've been saying, you know, I know we've had a few caution laps in between that, so some of these guys might be able to push it to, you know, say 80, 85, and then you only have a 10 lap or a 20 lap run to the end. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see a number of different things here as Kensley Smith and Sean Dunaway start battling now.
This top 6 is anybody's game. Once pit stops come through, it's gonna shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, Alex Teft looking inside of Branham, and yeah, these pit stops are going to be very important. And, you know, in my opinion, I think the first one to make a move is going to be the beneficiary by far. And I'm also on the thought that if someone makes a move, if you're any of the other guys in this top 6, you've got to go with them the next time around.
Yep.
Or if you're behind whoever makes that move, try to get down into pit road with them. Normally, I'd say, you know, you want to get off sequence with these guys and everything like that. You don't want to be on the same sequence. You want to kind of try to find a different way around. But with how everything's been running here, whoever cycles through as the leader, I think is going to benefit the most.
It makes me wonder if if traffic plays into your pit stop strategy of when you come out at pit road, who are you coming into on the track?
Yeah, and as we were talking, I see that Andrew Teft is tagged along to the back of this as well as wow, these guys are really messing me up. Andrew Teft finds his way on the back of this little pack. Alex Teft is also finding his way on the back of this pack too. So we
Paul
have
Shaw and Alan Bergen are on pit road.
Yeah, so they're going to get service. They're going to be good for the rest of this race. They are about 5 laps down each. But, I mean, now you've got 7 cars within a shot of each other, and Blair Holloman is just flying away. And that's going to benefit to him because, I mean, he could just run as hard as he wants right now and burn up his stuff to get that big lead and then come down pit road first by chance. I mean, he's going to have to get a little bit lucky with that thought. But either way, I think he's going to have a big enough lead to not have to worry about it. But we've got
Alex Teft split the middle and made it work.
Yeah. And, I mean, like I said, man, he's been on one here lately. And, I certainly see him as a contender. And, Andrew Teft is also a contender each and every week. So now you got 2 Tefts to worry about each and every week now. Kensley Smith looks like he's getting a little bit touched loose there. As Rowan Lloyd looks, or Truth Hope, my apologies, looks to kind of pull a little bit more air off of him. He splits Teft and Kensley Smith to go around as Teft is still fighting on the inside. But out of nowhere, Andrew Teft finds himself in that 3rd place position.
He has a way of just quietly making his way to the front.
Yeah, and, each and every week, he's either right there in front of you, dominating the race, or he plays his own little strategy that he has, and then next thing you know, you look up at the timing and scoring, and you're like, hold up, like, he's in 7th already? He was just in 15th. And then all of a sudden you look away.
He doesn't race. He races himself and he races the track. He doesn't race against others on his way there.
And, that's what we always say each and every week is a big thing, is race the track, not the others.
John Dunaway just peeled off to come down pit road. Ooh, I think it was Kensley Smith as well.
Yeah, Kensley Smith, Lloyd, Dennis Kane,
Yost Hess,
all these guys jumping. So I'd imagine that Blair Holloman would probably jump next too.
And if you take a full tank of gas, that'll have you clear for a green-white checkered if it comes down to it, to have an extra, going into overtime, you'll still have enough.
So Blair comes down now. Andrew Teft stays out with Hoke in tow. Alex Teft out as well. So now we're going to see, Blair down on pit road right now. These guys are going to come by. But, once Holloman is out and on track, he's going to be able to run way quicker lap times than these guys. So I wouldn't play. I would come down pit road this time by and salvage whatever you can on time-wise to Blair. Because, you're already going to possibly lose a ton here to, Kensley Smith and company. Because Kensley Smith is flying by Blair Holloman now. So Andrew Teft is in. It looks like Alex Teft and Truth Hoke stay out. Justin Branham, Jesse Fox, Lee Campbell coming down. So 3 cars that haven't come down pit road this cycle around. It looks like Rowan Lloyd came back down pit road.
Oh, I wonder if he had a penalty to serve.
Yeah, I'll have to check in on
he's in
that.
17 spot now.
So now we'll see here and watch. Kensley Smith, Dunaway, and Blair Holloman 3 wide for what will eventually turn into the lead position.
Oh, fresh tires got to come up to temperature still, it looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, look at that gap that now Andrew Teft is going to have. You know, he's going to lose all the way back to behind Rob Yost so far. Branham coming out with him. Philip Archibald coming down back road now, or backstretch now. So I mean, Andrew Teft went from third place to what will eventually become 7th place. Blair Holloman sets fast time 30:59 or 30:29. My apologies. Flipped over to the following lap. 20 laps here to go, and the two of them
Sprouse just hopped down pit road.
Yeah, so he's going to certainly lose a ton here, staying out as long as he did, especially with those guys running as fast as they were. Because, you know, people were running mid to high 31s towards the end of that run. But now, I mean, you look here, Sean Dunaway and Blair Holloman have pulled away from Kensley Smith to about 3.5 seconds here. So certainly the two of them are on go and just flying down this track.
Looks like everybody's gotten really spread out after that run of pit stops.
Dennis Kane looking to get to Kensley Smith. Kyle Hess as well, sitting in 6th place. You can see here, Andrew Teft has lost time to Alex Teft as well, so hasn't really worked out for Andrew Teft, but I mean, with 17 to go, my apologies, just flipped over to 17 to go. It's going to be hard for him to make up that time.
Coming off a 4.
And he's going to lose 2 spots, possibly 3 here in just a straightaway.
That's that risk of running up right on the wall.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, it's the fastest way around, but, you know, you do have that risk that you have to worry about of getting into the wall, because once you get into that wall, sometimes it just doesn't let you go. It holds on to you, and you just ride the wall, and, I mean, you lose a ton of momentum, and, you know, he loses another spot here to Alex Teft, so he's lost 4 positions in about a lap.
I wonder if the whoa, it looks like he's having some struggles with the back end, and it just keeps wanting to get loose on him.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, maybe if he's got a little bit too much wheel or too much
yeah, he's coming down for a pit stop now. I wonder if he had wheel damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to definitely take him out of the equation for getting a podium at the very least. And now Blair Holloman has stretched it out to over a 7.
Oh, Alex Teft is on a charge.
Running that outside
Gets by
line.
Hess, trying to make a move around Rob Yost. Passing on the outside. Wow, he's got a lot of pace.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got Dennis Kane ahead of him, and both of them are the biggest 2 movers here in this race. Kane up 20 positions, Teft up 18, so, you know, they're not playing around. They want to get good finishes. Teft flying, going to be all over the back bumper. It's almost like he was trying to push Kane into the corner faster to throw him off. And I mean, sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to kind of make him go faster than what he wants to.
It's a strategy.
And we see him carry that speed on the outside. See if he can make it work here. Gonna have to have a good runoff, carry a lot of that speed, and he does. And I mean, he didn't have any room for error there on that backstretch because, I mean, he was right up against the wall. I tell you what, you know it's a good battle when I start sitting here and bouncing my knees and my legs and whatever, because I'm just like, oh, can we get it? We got a good run here. You know, Alex Teft, I mean, he could certainly put himself in a good position if he can hang on to this third place position. I mean, it would be back-to-back third place finishes, and again, just backing up what I said earlier of the fact that he's going to be a force to reckon with this season.
Jordan, could you give me a lap time update on Alex Teft and Sean Dunaway?
So that time by, Sean Dunaway ran a 30.47, but Alex Teft seemed to only run a 30.74, which definitely doesn't seem to match how his truck is running, because he certainly...
he may have had to back off at this point.
Yeah, so we'll get a check now. Dunaway should be coming across the line here momentarily, see what he runs this time by, and then see what Teft runs. Dunaway looks to have run a 30.47 again.
Yeah, I just don't see him pulling out half second a lap.
No.
That's a big ask on this track.
31.35 that time around for Dunaway. 31.28 for Teft. So, I mean, that's a ton of time to try to make up. And, I mean, you're talking almost 4.5 seconds in 9 laps.
Yeah, I think if I'm Alex Teft,
Although that time by, Dunaway went 30.50 to Alex Teft's 31.20 or 31.50 to a 31.29. So definitely carrying speed, but I mean he's still 4.5, just under 4.5 seconds. So I mean if we had 20 to go at this point, I certainly think Teft would have a run for Dunaway. But just being 8 laps, Dunaway seeming to kind of back off and kind of let Blair run with the win there. I mean, it's one of those things. It's hard to run after Blair Holloman and run and match his pace. You know, he's running a 30.56 last time by. So Teft is actually carrying more speed, but you know Blair doesn't really have to run that right now because, I mean, Blair is solidly in the lead by a second and a tenth.
Further back, Jesse Fox and Philip Archibald are battling over the 11 spot.
See, that time by, Teft was half a second faster than both of the lead two.
Yeah, that gap certainly is shrinking, but 7 laps to go. I don't think it's going to shrink that much.
A little too late, but I mean,
Hoke gets around Dennis Kane.
Yeah, and he's one that's been carrying a lot of pace. So honestly, Dunaway is not Teft's worry. It's gonna be Truth Hoke if you know if he doesn't keep running these times. I mean, he ran a 31.44 and Truth Hoke ran a 31.52. So, I mean, just a touch. You know, Teft actually just. I keep looking at the best time. It keeps throwing me off. I was like, what? But no, like. You know, Hoke was just a touch off of the speed that Teft was carrying. We'll see what it does this time around. As it looks like Teft ran a 31.57 to Hoke's 31.64. And as we say that, Sean Dunaway has found a little bit of speed here. Moved within just over half a second, about 0.6 away from the lead here, and you know I wonder if that's just the usual Blair Holloman backing off and working his truck to his advantage. You know, he didn't have to run as hard as he wanted to or needed to there for the most of the run, but I mean Dunaway within half a second here. So it's just 4 to go. We got a half-second lead up front. I mean, each time Dunaway goes into turns 3 and 4, he gets a touch bit back. But then Blair gets a good run out.
It's like Lee Campbell just got around Rob Yost.
Yeah, so we're down to 0.2 of a second now. just 3 and 4 down the front stretch. He's been able to get it to within 0.2 of a second. So Dunaway certainly found something, and he's going to be charging 0.3 of a second. See what happens this time around through 3 and 4. Dunaway has found speed through 3 and 4. That's where he makes most of his speed up. We'll
Further
see.
back, Andrew Taft going the long way around Justin Branham. Makes it happen.
We're within 1/10 now. And when I say that, I mean it was 0.12 or 0.19 right now, and I know it's not a big difference, but I mean certainly. So this time around, coming to the white flag, if he gets the same run that he has been getting out of this turn 3 and 4 the entire last couple of laps, he's certainly going to be within a shot there of Blair Holloman, as he's down within under 1/10 of a second. Going to look to the inside,
Wow.
to the inside of Blair Holloman.
I just
Dunaway giving all that he
Oh my
has.
goodness.
A little bit of a slide off of turns 2. Going to dive into this corner here again. 3 and 4 for the final time. Race win
Really
on the
aggressive.
line here. Can Dunaway carry the speed down low? Can he get the run in time to Blair Holloman? We're going to be to the line. Blair Holloman
Oh, no.
by 0.004 of a second. And I've got to say, that's probably the greatest finish in all of my career of sim racing broadcasting. That is a phenomenal finish. I have no words for it. That was an amazing finish. And I don't think that
excellent.
Dunaway could have done anything more there. But nonetheless, back-to-back weeks, Blair Holloman's going to take the win. And Sean Dunaway, I mean, Sean Dunaway needed maybe half a lap.
Another half a lap.
And I don't even know if he would have needed a half a lap. I think he only needed half a straightaway coming to the checkered, and he would have been fine. I think there was a touch of a slide there coming off of turns. I believe it was either through 1 and 2. So you go in here, you can watch off of Dunaway right here. You see he's going to drive in down low, be right under him, and if you look, he's going to slide up the racetrack, get right there, and you can see
Yeah.
a slide right there. And that small bit of slide, I think, is the only thing that, one, kept him from the inside of Blair Holloman down the entire backstretch. And had he been able to carry that down the backstretch side by side the whole time, I think
there's
he would have
even
gotten it.
Even more sliding out of turn 4.
Yeah, and honestly, Sean Dunaway showed a great strength and not giving him a little bit of a nudge there, too.
Did a great job just holding it together.
Certainly one of the greatest finishes that I have seen this season.
That was wonderful.
I mean, I say this season, and I mean my entire career here. Just go ahead and find our racers of the hour here. Get them up into the booth. Give them a little bit of a chat here. So we're gonna bring up our third place runner, Andrew Taft. Or I need Alex Taft. Sorry, Andrew.
That's all right.
You guys have been messing me up all night long. I've been going Alex, Andrew, Alex.
Hey, I don't know if you mentioned it, but it's his birthday today, so make sure you embarrass him.
Oh, okay, I got that. I'm glad we pulled you up then, so we'll get that. So, I mean, once again, the Taft brothers proving to be a menace to my brain. Alex Taft, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you know, I accidentally pulled your brother up here, and you know, because you guys mess with me all race long. I'm trying to say Alex and Andrew, and then I'm like, it's like a tongue twister. But you know, you come here and you get another third place podium finish, man.
Yeah, no, definitely had to work for that one. Missed qualifying and then decided to spin myself out in the middle of that race. So it was definitely good to come back to the top 3.
Yeah, and I mean, you had a heck of a run, and I mean, do you think it had anything to do with the fact that you're the birthday boy today?
I don't know if that gave me a little extra motivation, but it was mostly just driving angry, especially after I made that mistake.
No, certainly. We were sitting here watching a couple different battles throughout it, and then we looked up and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" Collins starts yelling like, "Alex is on a run," and certainly, I mean, we were starting to do the math up here with what you were running versus what the other guys were running, and I mean, had you had about 10 or so laps more, we probably would have been talking to you as the second place finisher, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I would have had a better shot if I came in a couple laps earlier. I was really trying to lead lap, get that bonus point. I don't know if maybe I would have come out in a little cleaner track if I came in a couple of laps earlier, but it's hard to say, especially, and I don't even know if I had the speed for those front guys on more equal tires anyway, because I wasn't really up there, so no, I'll definitely take the recovery that I got.
Yeah, and you know, we always say that, you know, a winning strategy isn't a winning strategy until you're holding a checkered flag. So it's one of those things you don't know until you know. But certainly put in a heck of an effort just to get back to that third place position, up 19 positions from where you started. So certainly put in a good run. And, you know, I've been saying you're a force to be reckoned with. So, I mean, you're showing consistency right now. So if you keep putting those together, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat, you know, the Blair Holloman. I mean, he is what I'd like to say the Jimmy Johnson or the Dale Earnhardt or the, you know, Kyle Busch of this league right now, of putting in massive efforts each and every week. But, you know, consistency is key.
I know, absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely got some ground to make up on Blair. He just doesn't make any mistakes, and he's able to qualify up front pretty much every week and gets out to those big leads, and with everybody else behind him battling and using up their tires, and once he gets that gap and there's no cautions, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, certainly. But congrats on the third, and before we send you on your way, is there anybody you want to shout out and thank?
I definitely want to thank you guys over at Sim Racing Media, putting on these broadcasts all the time. Thanks League versus Elite. These new seasons have been shaping up pretty good so far. Thank my friends and the fans that watch all the time, and my fiance.
All right, brother. Well, happy birthday for one, and then congrats on the third, and we'll be talking to you on the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
And now we're going to move our way up. We're going to grab our second place finisher, Sean Dunaway. Sean Dunaway, the boys in the booth, you get a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Hey, man, I cannot even in the slightest bit think of anything more that you could have possibly done there to come away with the win.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, you know, that last lap, I felt like I had to push it. Definitely overdrove turn 1 and 2 a little, but was able to get, you know, back to him in turns 3 and 4 there. But yeah, just couldn't stick it to the bottom enough. Couldn't get the momentum out of the exit there. Just so close, man. So close.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to his inside there, and I think the only thing, and it's one of those minuscule things, the only thing that I think hurt that last lap is this just slight slide that you had through 1 and 2, coming off of 2 there. And I mean, it wasn't even that big of a slide, but it, you know, allowed him to kind of keep you in that same spot that you were, and actually kind of put you behind him just a touch.
Yeah,
But
for
other
sure.
than that, I mean, the entire lap was one heck of a lap, especially on, you know, 25 lap tires.
Yeah, what I really wanted to do out of turn 3 and 4 is really lean on him and hope. But if you watch the broadcast there, I was really thinking about just going up and hooking him for a second. Like, should
Yeah,
I do
and
it?
I mean that's what we were up here saying, is you showed a good amount of restraint, because I mean I feel like I would have leaned on him pretty
Yeah.
dang hard, because I mean it's hard to get past Blair Holloman as it is, so you had him in your
Yeah.
clutches, but I mean it's one of those things, you have that moral dilemma, but all in all, you guys all race really clean, so it's kind of hard to commit to that to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't want to ruin, anybody's race for sure. We're all just having fun. So I'm glad it turned out the way it was though. Like great lap, last lap there, and yeah, super thrilled about it.
Absolutely. So before we send you off, is there anybody that you want to shout out and thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, my stepdad and mom for always watching, and then my cat's always checking up on me during the race.
Well, congrats on the second place, and we'll hopefully talk to you on the next one.
Alrighty.
And now, and certainly not least, I'm going to bring up our race winner and man that we seem to love to talk to each and every week, Blair Holloman. It's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Doing well. I feel like we just talked, It seems like about an hour or so ago.
Yeah, it was just a little bit ago.
Well, certainly, Sean Dunaway gave you a scare there at the end. Definitely put you to the test there to see if you could hang on. And I mean, you guys had the closest finish, I think, in my broadcasting career. It's not a long career, but in my broadcasting career, just 4,000ths of a second, or 400th of a second, or 1,000th. I'm not good at that. I think 400th of a second. My apologies. 400ths of a second.
Oh yeah, it was interesting. Those last 10 laps, that last pit stop, I pretty much threw it all on the table. When I came off the pit road and I saw the 15 and Sean, he was coming, like Kinsley went around me and Sean was right there on my bumper. I knew I had to stay on the inside and try to muster my way around Kinsley. He wanted the inside, so I let him have it, and then we got to corner exit, and I went lower than he did. Kept it clean, thank God. But yeah, that run, I just didn't save enough tire there. I had what I thought was a really good gap, and we got to those last 10 laps, and it's just I'd throw the truck in the corner, and it's skating. I'm like holding on for dear life, and I see Sean just with the fishing reel starting to reel me in. That last lap, I thought I was toast. When we went into turn 1 and 2, and it's like I don't see him in the mirror anymore. I know he's alongside. So it's like I don't know what's happening. I don't know where he's at. We come off of 2, and so I had a little bit of a gap, and we went into turn 3, and honestly, with turn 3, you don't know what's happening. He could either cleanly get around me, put me in defense. Anything can happen because this track, the way the turns are around 3 and 4 here, it sends you toward the wall unless you're on fresh tires. So I was kind of timid, but I saw I come off turn 4 and I had the lead, and I was just happy to keep it at this point. It was a good race. I can't complain. Chicagoland's always a fun place to race at. It's a shame that this place is not using an actual Cup Series. They would rather race taxi cabs in downtown, but this place is definitely a pretty cool track, and I hope eventually it makes its way back.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were saying at the top. Is it's one of those fun tracks, and multi groove, and the surface allows for some more grip, and multi groove racing, which is a ton of fun when you see people that can utilize the outside, and then people who could utilize the inside a lot better. And looking at that white flag lap, I think the exit of turn 2 is really the only way that you still win this race. And Dunaway had a little bit of a slide coming out of 2 just off your left rear, and I think if he would have been able to keep that under him and run down the backstretch fully side by side the entire time, I think he would have been able to get you. But ultimately, I mean, that's racing. Slight slides like that and everything, like it's just kind of how it plays. And I mean, it works out in your favor. Back-to-back wins, starting off this season stronger than ever.
We're off to a good start. There's a lot of mystery boxes for tracks coming up. I know we have quite a few interesting ones. We got Iowa, which statistically I have yet to actually finish a race. I've wrecked coming to the line a couple times. I've gotten across the line, but truck hasn't ran. Gateway I don't have a good history with. There's quite a few tracks up until the chase that it's may the odds be in my favor, because historically I don't have good finishes at some of these tracks. So we'll see if I can carry the momentum, or hopefully just keep the ship sailing until we get to the chase, and hopefully we can get something going there. But these next few weeks is just drive to survive, and hopefully I can get some good finishes. I'm just trying to keep the ship sailing at that point.
Yeah, certainly. And you go from, a 1.5 mile like this to Iowa and then to Daytona, which, you saying how you feel about Iowa, and then having to run a race that's, not even in your hands completely of Daytona. I mean, that's a difficult just 2-week stretch. And then you got right before the chase starts, you're going to have Eldora, which is certainly going to be a fun one to watch and see everyone overcome dirt there. So yeah, a wide variety of tracks here this season as well, and going to be fun to watch you guys go through the road course of Sonoma, Rockingham, Gateway, and then IRP to start off the chase again. So it's going to be a great season, and we're looking forward to it. And so far, I mean, you're going to be the man to beat as of right now, and certainly going to have some tough challenges up ahead. But again, congrats on that first place. And before we send you off, is there anybody that you want to shout out to or thank?
Yeah, I want to shout out a couple people. I know the truck's Earnhardt throwback, but of course a couple actual sponsors there. Holland and Napa Auto Parts. I want to thank my cousin Tad. ACR Article Recycling. I want to thank my buddy Brian Lefevre and my Matco Tools guy Roy Salisbury. I want to shout out the captain himself, Yost. I know he had an interesting night. Finished in the top 10, which is definitely good to see. And I know my dad's watching. I don't know if he's actually done with work yet, but I hope he's had a good time enjoying the race, regardless.
All right, brother. Well, congrats on the win, and more than likely, maybe, possibly, we'll have a conversation on the next one, brother.
We're gonna try our best, but unless we don't, sooner than later, I'll be back off here sooner than later.
Yeah, getting to know you really well. So, again, congrats, and we'll be seeing you on the next one, brother.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you.
So that is just about going to do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We are going to go through these final results here. Blair Holloman goes back-to-back on the season already, with Sean Dunaway just barely missing out on that win, with Alex Teft having his back-to-back third-place finishes. And, consistency is key, and it's going to be interesting to see how much more he has. If maybe he can get a win in here towards the middle of this season. Truth Hoke and Dennis Kane round out our top 5, with Andrew Teft, Justin Branham, Kyle Hess, Lee Campbell, and Rob Yost rounding out our top 10. Jesse Fox and Philip Archibald going to be 11th and 12th. Randy Sprouse, Kirby Wayne Scott going to be 13th and 14th. Wesley Herndon going to be rounding out our top 15, with Rowan Lloyd and Paul Shaw coming 16th and 17th. 18th is going to be Kensley Smith. Nathan Strauss, Ronnie Martin going to be 19th and 20th. 21st is going to be our own Alan Bergen, followed by Trevor Woodward, and rounding out the field in 23rd is going to be Hugh Escobar. Certainly an absolute amazing finish here tonight, and the Racers Elite Series never disappoints, and certainly looking forward to the rest of the season, Colin.
I am too. That was an incredible finish, and there were a lot of close battles right on the last lap. And Alex Teft was on a charge, and I really am looking forward to seeing what he's capable of doing later on this season. Maybe if he has the opportunity to qualify, it might change things up for him.
Certainly, and with all of that being said, look forward to Thursday night. Going to be doing the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. That's the next one that I will be on. Racers Elite Xfinity Series will be tomorrow night. And as we close up here, the last thing to say is, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Thank you, everybody.